Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on TNN on this cold Thursday evening. I hope everybody had a great day, and I sure did. It's been a very exciting day for me here, doing a lot of work with the businesses that I'm a brand ambassador for. So that's been very exciting for me. And I just actually did a reflection of the businesses that I'm an ambassador for, and every single one of them is health, wellness, or well, health or wellness. And I was so excited. And somebody asked me, they go, is that coincidental? Did that just happen? And I said, oh no. Like when you're a brand like I am, HeyTana is a brand. You have to be very careful who you associate yourself with. So, for example, if a brand, a long time ago, actually 3 years ago, a business approached me that wanted to partner with me, but they were an alcoholic brand. And I thought, well, that'd be fun. I could have a couple bottles of whatever, laying around the house for the times that I do have a beverage or two. But I thought, well, that's not really in alignment with my brand. And so I was like, I really don't think that that's going to be a good fit for me and my brand. And so I didn't join partnership with them. But the businesses that I am is a yoga studio, and that's so good for type A people like myself. Actually, it's good for everybody. And I'm writing about that in my book, that there's a chapter about, yoga and what it did for me and what it continues to do for me. And then I recently became a brand ambassador for a new cycle studio that just opened up here in Des Moines, and it's called Cycle Bar. And I'm very excited about that because I am a cyclist. I ride my bike very, very often with my husband and our good friends. And so that was a great addition to my resume. And also a chiropractor and a massage studio. Or not studio, but business. And I always want to make sure that I'm in alignment. So I love adjustments, and I also take good care of myself with getting massages and flushing out the bad and keeping my body in good shape. So that's what my days consisted of, participating in some fun events, the grand opening for the Cycle Bar, as well as a fun event that the yoga studio had called Warrior Work. And so I worked it out hard, and I'm happy to be here with you all tonight. And I'm so happy that you're here. So I wanted to say, before we really dive into what I want to chat with you all about, I wanted to see if you could remember to like the video and share the video with any groups that you're a part of, or your network, or even on your Facebook page, and put any tags to it that resonate with you, because at the end of the day, the more that the video gets moved around, the bigger legs it gets, the stronger legs it gets, and the more people see it and can either be inspired or can learn more about the things that I want to share. So that would be very helpful. I also have a YouTube channel that Paul, who is behind the scenes helping me here, that he is putting up all of our TNN videos, as well as going through a library of videos that he has from previous things that I've done in my past. And so we're going to really build my YouTube channel up. And my YouTube channel is very easy. It's just HeyTana TV. And it's going to be fun. So we're going to build this to being big, and hopefully we're going to get it syndicated, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So thank you for being along in the journey. But I wanted to talk about the midterms, as I'm sure a lot of you do. And feel free. This is a very interactive live stream. So Paul and John behind the scenes are giving me your questions. And so we want to make sure that if you have anything on your mind and you want to ask it to me, don't forget to put it in the comments, and we'll answer the questions here live, because a lot of you have the same questions. So I just want to say that this goes back to really why I put my life on hold, my business is on hold, to go work for President Trump years ago. I guess, has it been 2? Seems like it's been longer than that. But I put my businesses on hold because I believed in this man. But really, I knew how hard he'd work. Think about people that have asked you, hey, would you give me a recommendation? People ask me that all the time. And I'm a very direct person, as you know, and I have to say, actually, I don't think I can. And why? People get offended. Well, the reality is they're not worth much. Their reputation isn't good. Their track record's not good. And do I want to put my name on a recommendation to somebody who is successful, say the CEO of a corporation, for somebody who hasn't lived up to the level of excellence that I require, that I expect in people that work for me, and that President Trump does as well. So a lot of people aren't worthy of, one, your time, two, working for. A lot of people aren't worth your 8 hours that you give a business, or some situations like, my son gives more than 8 hours a day in his work. Some businesses, are they really worth all that time? Because if you look at, what's happening on behind the scenes, maybe they're not the person that you really would want to give really the majority of your life to. And that's what I started pondering when I have people ask me these questions. But I thought, when President Trump had me be part of his team, I knew that he would work so hard for us and for all of us. And I knew that he would give it his all, as I would. So when we think about the midterms, and I see Curtis has got some comments, and I'm going to get to those too, because I know what happened in Colorado. But I knew that President Trump was going to give it his all. He would leave no stone unturned. He would, play to the end of the game. And that's what he did. And I don't know if a lot of you out there know this, but he had 30 rallies in the last month. I was on the trail with him, and I know how hard it is to do 30 rallies in 1 month. That's a lot of rallies. I know he did more than one a day. The traveling, even though he's on Air Force One, it's still difficult. The time zones are difficult. The lack of sleep is difficult. The not eating well is difficult. Not sleeping well is difficult. The adrenaline rush, it's amazing. So think about that and let that soak in. 30 rallies in the past month. That's a lot of hustle. And out of the 30 rallies, he endorsed 11 candidates. 9 of those 11 candidates won their race. So it's the Trump touch. It's the Midas touch. I call it the Trump touch, the Trump effect. Anything that he touches turns to gold. And think about that. Really, he really worked hard to ensure that the Republicans kept control. For example, he was very, very concerned that he wanted the Republicans to stay, to win the governors that were having races. He wanted to make sure that Republicans held on to that. And I'm happy to say that here in Iowa, we did. Our governor, Governor Kim Reynolds, who I know and I adore, I think she's great. She's hardworking. She's very energetic. She's great. I can't say one thing about her. I really respect her. She won, not by a lot, but she won, as did many, many, many governors. Republicans had incredible wins across the great states. And for that, I was very, very happy. So anyways, I agree with Randall. I just saw his comment there. I truly don't think anyone can ever outwork our president. He is just amazing, and he is. And Randall, and my camera doesn't show, but I got my jersey that I got from the Front Row Joes. I'm so excited. I can't wait to wear it. I've got it here in my office on my wall to always look at it and think of you guys. The Front Row Joes, I talked to you guys about them last week. They are a group of patriots, really. That's the best way to describe them. They go to every rally that they can. They travel from one end, coast to coast. They spend their own money. They're educating people in the line. They're keeping order in the line. They are so patriotic. They keep the crowd going. They're sleeping sometimes, most of the time, before the rally. Like, a lot of people don't even want to wait an hour. That's not the Front Row Joes. They're really putting in the effort, and I have so much respect for all of them. And so they have a jersey, and it's #FRJ. So if you all want to make sure you share the video and give that hashtag a little love, Front Row Joes, that would be cool. But anyways, I hope you guys got out and voted. It's so important that people realize that your vote is your voice. And I had people say, I was bugging everybody, go vote. And they said, "Oh, Tana, I'm just one person." Well, you're one person with a voice. And if you want to sit around behind the computer and complain about the way well, you would never complain about the way the country is going because the country is winning. We'll get to that in a second. But seriously, a lot of people want to complain, but they don't want to do anything about it. So if you didn't vote, you don't have any business talking about what could have been done or what should have been done because you didn't do your work. And we're all Americans, and we really need to get out there and realize that, your voice is your power, and your vote is your voice. So put the two together and go vote. But anyways, I hope that every year we realize that this is becoming more important, and we had record turnout all across the United States. Well, who cares about the Democrats right now? But I mean, we care, of course. We're going to get to that at the end. But I mean, we all need to do our part. We all need to vote, and we had record turnout. So I'm happy to say that, without President Trump being the leader saying vote, and let me tell you why, we want to keep control. We want to keep winning, and I was happy to see that y'all did it, and so thank you. Another thing I wanted to say is that the Trump army is very, very strong, and I don't want anybody watching who isn't a fan of President Trump, didn't vote for President Trump, doesn't like President Trump. I don't want you to be turned off by what I'm saying just because I love him, I work for him, I respect him, and I know what he'll do. So I don't want you to be turned off and be like, forget her, turn off TNN and go watch CNN, which would be a disgrace. I want you to realize that even though that's my beliefs and that's my business, we can still get along. And at the end of the day, after the midterms were over, and I was happy with what we did here in Iowa, I was happy with what we did across the United States. I know President Trump was happy. It was a record. It was phenomenal what he did. And so push that aside. We all now are Americans, and America won. I mentioned this on my Instagram page. So if y'all are on Instagram and you want to go follow me, I'm HeyTana on Instagram, or put in my name and you'll find me. But I said at the end of the day, after the midterms, America won. And so can't we all just be happy for that? Let's stop putting the labels on one another. Actually, a lot of Republicans actually put the labels on themselves, as do the Democrats. I'm not saying that they don't. But when you ask me, what are you, Tana? I'm not sitting there going, a Republican. I'm not really even saying I'm a conservative woman. I'm not even saying that I'm a believer in the Second Amendment. I'm not saying all that because that then ramps it up and gets people fired up for wanting to fight. And I don't want to fight. I want everybody to come together and get along. And I feel like if we could leave our labels at home, kind of like, leave our garbage at home, leave the labels. Walk out the front door and just, if you have to have a label, why don't you just say, we're Americans, because we are Americans. And that should be enough. Like, that's really what the goal is. We're red, white, and blue to the core. Forget being a Democrat, forget being a Republican, just be an American. And then I think we can love each other a little bit more, because the hatred is getting ridiculous. And it's actually, for somebody like myself, who's a motivator and a encourager and a therapist who isn't trained to be a therapist, but a dang good one, that hurts my soul and spirit, because that's not my nature. That's not my energy. That's not my aura. And that's not the space that I live in. So when I go somewhere, like, wearing my wonderful vest, excuse me, that I got from the campaign when working on the campaign and at the Republican National Convention, when I wear something like this, I get dirty looks. I get women that, oh gosh, like, here she comes, that despise me, that can't look at me. And I just sit there and I just smile. I'm not looking for a fight. And at the end of the day, my decisions don't need to be validated by you. So I always tell people that I coach in life, like, it doesn't matter, like, what your friends think. They don't need to be part of the decision-making process. And when I signed up to work for President Trump, I didn't get permission from my family. I didn't get permission from my mother and father, not knowing, where they stood on it. I didn't ask my sister, who's a lesbian, who's married to a woman, who's an LAPD lieutenant. I didn't ask her permission, knowing she'd be terrified, and she was terrified. And we had a conversation, and we worked through that. She was worried about President Trump taking the gay rights away from him. And I said, that's the furthest thing from his mind. And so we had a nice conversation. She was like, okay, I trust, I believe in you, and you go do you. And that's what I did. So in life, I always think if we don't try to ask people, if we don't act like their decision would really matter in our decision-making process, we're going to be a lot better off. So now let's talk about the wonderful, wonderful evening I know I had, and a lot of you had. I know Randall and Curtis and Geneva. Oh, Geneva, good to see you. I know Geneva and her lovely daughter, Christy. We had such an amazing, amazing night 2 years ago tonight. And I want to bring you guys up to speed on that. My team, or not my team, but the Trump team was phenomenal. We had the best volunteers. We had the hardest working volunteers, the most spirited volunteers. We had such a great team. And like every team in life, there's the good ones and then there's the bad ones. That's just life, and that's just business. And I knew the people on the team that had Trump's excellence, Trump's level of standard. I knew the people on the team that had his back. I knew the people on the team that were just taking a paycheck, that didn't give a heck about him. And I didn't like those people. It was very, very obvious that we wanted to win. And I just share that part with you guys just to know that no team is perfect, unless, of course, I'm managing it. And I get to pick it, and I'm sure a lot of you out there who run your own businesses and you are like me and you will not accept anything other than 100%. People that work for me, I get what I get 100% out of them. I give them 100%. I love them. I take care of them. They love me. They take care of me, and we get the job done. And so I knew that we had some people on the team that I never would be friends with again after the job was done, after we won. And then I knew that on the team there would be those people that, as I just picked up the phone and spoke to a friend yesterday, a close friend, I'm coming to D.C. here in a few weeks for a Christmas party. I reached out to a couple friends and just said, I want to see you. They took jobs in D.C. One of my best friends, Marshall, he's took a job in D.C. and brought his family from Iowa to D.C. My comms director, James, he's in D.C. working in the Department of Commerce, and I love to see him. And the memories that flood in of the long days, the long nights, the blood, sweat, and tears, the traveling in the RV across the great state of Iowa. It's a bond that you can't explain. We're, as I said to, I can't remember who it was. Was it Cindy? I said to somebody, no, it was on Instagram, lady, Families for Trump is her hashtag. She said, I'm lonely, like it's over. I miss you guys. I'm sad. And I remember those feelings. Our volunteers like Gary and Kristen and so many of the great people like Connie. And I mean, the list goes on and on. The people that I fell in love with, that I saw on a daily basis. Jeff Mormon. I mean, Anita, she worked for us. There was just so many great people Caleb, I love Caleb. And after it was all over, a lot of people go in the morning like, where did everybody go? Well, we won. And now the show's over for a while. But actually, 726 days until the 2020 election. So I'm getting ready to get saddled up. But the winning Iowa was glorious. The night meant so much to me and all of the staff because we, as I said, worked so hard, and we knew that Donald Trump needed Iowa to get into the White House. And so I had a choice to go to the victory party in New York, where the whole Trump family would be there, and a lot of my friends, and all of the staff that I work so closely with, and the vice president and his family, or I could stay back in Iowa. And I remember getting the call and getting the invite to go, and I thought, what's the right thing to do? And my brain quickly said, go to New York. I'm going to be there with President Trump on the stage winning. When he finds out he won, he had a 1% chance of doing this. And we did it. And I wanted to be there so bad. But I said, Tana, the right thing to do is to stay in Iowa and be with the people that you love, and be in your home state, and be with the people that work so hard, door knocking and calling and everything that they did. And I thought the best thing, and be with your team. Your team didn't get that invite. Like, that would be selfish. I felt like it would be selfish. But I also said I have to work up until the very last minute before the polls closed to make sure that no stone is left unturned. Because if we didn't win the state of Iowa, it was two people's fault. My fault and Eric Branstad's fault. Those were the only two hides that were going to get yelled at if we didn't win this state. And I remember telling Eric, I think we were on Air Force One, or we were on Trump Force One at the time. And Eric goes, my gosh, we got to do this. And I said, oh no, there's no choice. We have to do this. I said, if we don't win, we'll never, ever have an opportunity to ever work with Donald Trump again. And he'll be mad. And so we have to win. And so he understood it, and we did. We won so beautifully. I want to show you guys this. I found this in my office. Well, I didn't find it. I've known I've had it. So let me back up. We'll just put that right here now. So the day of the election, I had to get up. I think I had to be up at 6 o'clock in hair and makeup doing an interview for Fox or somebody about, what do you think's going to happen? And I was on every network, actually. And CNN, they were like laughing at me like, this poor sorry sucker. She still thinks this man's got a chance. And they were like giving me such a hard time. Like, really? Like, what is your backup plan? I'm like, backup plan? Politics wasn't my first plan. Like, this is not my real job. This is just a job that's going to actually I'm making history. Just happens to be I'm getting paid to do this as well, but I'm making history with the president of the United States. I have 3 jobs waiting for me that I actually love. I'm a professional speaker, I was a business coach, and I had a radio show. I really liked all that. So when they were asking me, what's your backup plan? I'm like, I'm going to the White House. And I knew all along I wasn't going to take a job, but it sounds good. And it was a real good soundbite. And so that's what they were putting up. She's like, the hype girl believes that, she's going to the White House. Ha, ha, ha. So then I was doing all these interviews here in Iowa, the local television stations. And I mean, you could see the reporters, they were kind of puking in their mouth a little when I was saying, we were going to win. And, oh, yeah, you realize, Tana, his chances of winning. Oh, yeah, I said, I realize that. Don't worry about it, honey. I'm betting the farm. And they were like, do you have a farm? I'm like, no, but not yet. So anyways, it was just disgusting to see every interview, see the reporters who weren't really journalists, but they were activists, every station, all the stations, they were just all doing it to me. And I just sat back and went, oh my gosh, we've got to do this. And if we do, it is going to be so wonderful to see all the people that wanted to see me fail and Trump fail succeed. Like, that's rewarding to me sometimes. And I don't mean to get negative or mean-spirited. But at the end of the day, when people want to see you fail, I like to disappoint them, to be quite honest with you. And that's what we did. So I did an interview. I think my last one was at 10 o'clock. And my husband works at the television station as a meteorologist. Actually, the only people over at TV stations that really do their jobs and do it well are the meteorologists, because as I mentioned, all the other ones are activists and they aren't journalists anymore. And President Trump was right about that. But anyways, all of a sudden I get done from doing my TV hit and I see my husband running, sprinting up the elevator or escalator to me. He just got off of work. He must have made it over there in 2 minutes in his suit and tie. And he's like, Tana, you guys did it. You won. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I crunched the numbers. I've been crunching the numbers in between my shows. You got it. And I'm like, wait, nobody knows this yet. Like, they're all in the war room. I've been doing TV. I haven't crunched any numbers. He goes, you have it. And at that moment, I thought I should trust. I do trust him with my life. And he's a great numbers cruncher. He's an amazing horse betting on bets. Horse MC. He bets on horses. Always wins. He's a great handicapper. That's what I'm trying to say. He's a great forecaster. He's great at anything technical and numbers and predicting. And he says, you did it. And so I went into the war room, and the whole team was like erupting, and Wisconsin was coming in, and it was so glorious. It was such a glorious night. We were so relieved. And so I did, I think, another hit, Don Lemon or something in New York. And then we all started celebrating as a team around 12:30 a.m., or maybe it was later. I didn't go to bed till 4:30 a.m., but I wanted to bring one thing up, and this was very important, and this meant a lot to me, because I got a lot of friends, and a lot of people know me, but this stuck with me for the rest. This will stick with me for the rest of my life. I have good friends that are Mexican. They told me to call them Mexicans, so I can't play the game and be politically correct and say Spanish. They say, call us Mexicans, that's what we are. So my good friends are Mexicans. On election night at 4:30 a.m., when I think the world knew that he won, on my phone, the first text was from that couple saying, congratulations. And I looked at that, and my heart just was so filled with love. And what y'all don't know is they had been working to become legal immigrants for years. Actually, I went 2.5 years prior to go and vouch for their character. That was something I would do. And I went on my birthday to immigration court to say they make excellent citizens. And they hadn't heard yet. So they were terrified that they were going to be deported, because at that time it was, if you're not legal, you're going. And out of the first text, you guys, was from them. And I looked at that and I thought, wow, those are friends. Those are people that are scared to death that their life is over as they know it. But they called and they sent me a text just saying, we're so proud and we know what this night means to you. And that just meant so much. So when I say, like I said in the beginning of this, let's just be good Americans, or try to be, they're trying to be Americans. Let's just be good people. And then let's see what kind of world we can live in. And then let's get back to the champagne. So the team was celebrating somewhere else, and we finally got to our hotel room at 4:30, and I had to get up the next morning to do another TV hit, so I had to get to bed. And then after the hit, I go over to our old office, just because we never talked about, like, where are we all going the next day. So we all go over there, and everybody hung out in my office. We called my office the dressing room because it was a real big office, and I shared it with James. And so Eric went to Costco and got some bottles of Dom Perignon, and we were popping bottles in the office, in the dressing room. And that was the best day. I mean, honestly, it was the fourth best day of my life. And I mean, Marshall was there, and Jake was there, and Eric was there, and James was there. My buddy Tom was there, and I believe Nicole was there, and Kristen, I believe, was there. I mean, some of our volunteers were there. And so Eric got a bottle, and I got a bottle, and we had everybody sign it. And so we signed the bottle, with just everybody's signature that was there the day we celebrated the amazing win. And that's how we did it, man. We went out with a bang, and we did it, and we were so proud, and I still am so proud. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be part of the 2020 campaign. So it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and we're going to work our tails off. And I'm looking forward to what 2020 brings. So I'm anxious. I'll fill you guys in as we go. Now my life's a little bit more different. My life is different. I've got quite a few things working now that I didn't have working at the time, because hitching yourself and your wagon to Donald Trump, and executing the way we did is really good for the resume and really good for job opportunities. And so I have a lot of fun things cooking. And if they all come to fruition, then it's going to be different. But I'm going to do it all because that's what I do. And I leave no grass to grow underneath my feet. And that's the way I prefer it. And I know that you all are so amazing and you all are part of the journey with me. And I share the good, the bad, the ugly with you all. Just like I said, there's people on the team that we're no longer associated, and that's totally fine. And then the people that were my good friends were thicker than thieves, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for any of them. And so I just wanted to share it all with you and just say that despite the media, despite the people that said, Tana, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're brainwashed, you're a Stepford wife. I heard it all. But at the end of the day, I'm a winner. And it wouldn't be a TNN episode if I didn't put that on. So maybe I should let Paul tell me if we've got any comments, suggestions. Has anybody said anything that I should answer a question, or what's cooking out there? I'm happy. I'm actually very happy. Like I said, Iowa wasn't resting on my shoulders, thank goodness, but it was still, I had to let people know to get out and vote. I had to let people know that Kim Reynolds is a great governor. A lot of people had they were misformed. They were staying tuned to CNN and actually other networks. And I said, why don't you do your own homework? They were talking about our governor was going to take away pre-existing conditions in their health care. I'm like, no, honey, do your own research. Don't sit back and believe these things. I know how hard Kim's going to work for you. And her Lieutenant Governor, Adam, he's amazing. Iowa's the #1 state in the world to live in. Y'all come. I'd love to have you. If you want to succeed and you want to be a small business owner and you want to have more money in your pocket and you want to have a great lifestyle, the bottle of Dom Perignon has some dust on it. Woo-hoo! It's getting to me. But anyways, I know what Kim's going to do. So don't believe everything that you read. Do your own homework, do your own research so that you know what's actually happening out there. So I was impressed. Like I said, 9 out of 11 candidates that President Trump endorsed and hit the trail with, won. That's the power of Trump. So get behind him if you want to continue to win. Oh, that dust. Excuse me. Anything else out there, Paul? Oh, don't give me those straight lines. We don't want Red to hear that. Say that. I'm sorry. I was saying we didn't want Red to hear that and get the wrong idea. Say that again. Oh, isn't that sweet? Yes. Sorry. I don't know what I heard. I heard something like I didn't hear the sung part. Yes. The best racehorse and racer always wins. You can never go wrong putting your money on President Trump. Did you guys see the press conference with Jim Acosta? Isn't he something else? That was, I thought that the intern, she was just like, give me that mic. I'm like, let me tell you what, if I was that woman, I would have yanked that mic right out of his hands. She was playing nice. I thought she was being really sweet. No, I would have grabbed that mic and been like, no, buddy, time's up. She was. I mean, and see, Trump would have loved that with me because he would have known nobody's going to push me around. And that's okay. I mean, he loves that. He loves strong people, and he's just, I can't say enough about him. I'm so excited. I didn't tell you yet, Paul. Got invited to the Christmas party, the White House Christmas party. Yes, I do. I'm excited. I need to have my sister Tiffany get me a beautiful outfit. It's not going to be a gown or anything, but it's going to be what they say in the invitation. Business attire. Well, so a man will be in a suit and tie. Curtis is coming with me. Suit and tie, and a woman will be in a dress. Well, I want to be in a fancy dress. Oh, honey. Oh, that's another straight line. You're just feeding them to me. You know that I'm going to go off on that because, yeah, every woman's looking for an excuse to get another pair of shoes. It's an obsession. Yeah. And I don't need the compliments, but I'll take not the occasional. I'll take the shoes, the food, the water. Who said anything about water? But I want to just say, so y'all get out there and spread some love, spread some light, shine bright like a diamond. That should have been the theme song. Actually, I'm not a big fan of Rihanna right now, thinking, what she was saying, whatnot, about all the, maybe I'll take this off now. I do like wearing the hat. It's very comfortable. I've got to get some of those hats up, but we gotta get some first. Dane, I haven't forgotten about you. But anyways, you guys, do me a favor. If you could, share the video, like it, do some hashtags when you share it on your own page. Anything that resonates with you, if it's love, if it's light, if it's MAGA, if it's winning, if it's midterms, if it's election night, if it's 2020, if it's keeping America great again, if it's brand ambassador, I don't care, whatever it is. Positivity, that's what I want to be known for. Love, light, positivity, and goodness. I want to be, I want people to be good to one another. And I don't want to live in this world where, Tom, wear a pantsuit. Maybe a nice light blue one, right? That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I don't wear a pantsuit. I was told by my mother, if you've got good legs, show them off. And men wear pants, so I'm a woman and I'm going to wear a dress. That's my. I used to talk like that on the HeyTana Time show, which was Thursday nights at 7, coincidentally. I think not. Yeah. Well, yes, that's a great idea. Okay, next week is the good. I'm not going to be in California, but I'd be so. Maybe I'll do one from California with my mom and dad would be all right. Everybody, when I do Instagram stories, my dad's on a lot of my stories. Actually, my dad's on a lot of my stuff because he's hilarious. So a lot of people are like, "We want more of Johnny." That's his name, John, but people call him Johnny. So maybe I'll do it out in California with some family members or something. I'd love to do it with my sister Mara, the baby sister, the one that said, was married to the woman. She, just because she thinks that, well, she loves the fact, I think she does, that I'm a hustler. She's like, Tana, I've never, ever, ever met anybody who goes for it as much as you do. And I've been hustling my whole life. So it'd be kind of cool to see if she would be part of it, but she might not because I don't know if she likes the camera. But I think that would be fun. That would be 2 weeks from, that'd be Thanksgiving. Well, hey, you know what? We'll do one on Thanksgiving because I'm sure a lot of you are going to be sitting around with family members that you can't stand or want to get a break from. So I think we should go live. Unless, Paul, you do have a life and so does John. We'll check in with y'all because, people do get vacation days. You get the holidays off, but really I never take a day off. So what would be a good subject title for next week, November? We already had gratitude. That was the first TNN episode. So post in the comments. On the beach. Ooh. Wow, on the beach. I don't know if I could do Skype on the beach. That would be true. Okay. Well, we're going to have to think that, I think we'll pass on the beach. We'll probably do it on my parents' beautiful little, well, not little, but beautiful backyard, maybe. Show you all something to be really jealous of. But we'll get you guys to tell me what you want to talk about. And, or if, we want to do it, this would be fun. I don't know if this would be really difficult, Paul, but it'd be cool to have everybody give me a question. And then we hit the questions. I hit the questions. Kind of like when it was HeyTana time on the radio. And people would be like, hey, I've been dating this lady for 2 years. She hasn't introduced me to her kids yet. Tana, what does that mean? And then I would say that means she's not going to move forward with you if you haven't met the kids. So probably need to find another woman, those types of things. But Kevin says, my dad is so much fun. He is hilarious. My dad just, I tell people, go get out of your comfort zone. Do something that scares you, right? So he's like, he never did anything like that. And so I pushed him. I said, you should really try out for the softball team out at his community. He's in a retirement community in Palm Desert, Palm Springs, somewhere in there. And he said, I think I might. And I said, you should. So he tried out. He made the team. He's getting all beat up. He's falling. He's getting his knees all banged up. He's not, back sore now. So he's starting to suffer a little. He's 73. And I said, you better keep going or they're going to cut you. And so today was his first game. And he was calling us last night. Me and Miles were talking to him. And he said, Tana, they take it really serious here. They have a color guard. They have a national anthem singer. They have a scoreboard. I think he said a professional photographer, but I could be wrong. I'm going to check on that. And so just hearing him describe how he was sort of, I don't want to say sucking, but he wasn't doing super great in the outfield, missing balls is really what I'm trying to say. So they put him in catcher. And I was like, oh, that's a serious position because my buddy used to play catcher for the Yankees, not maybe the real team, but the backup team or whatever. He was a professional baseball player. And I know what a catcher has to do. So I was like, Dad, if you've got a bad back, you can't be bending down, crouching down, catching balls. He goes, oh, no, it's not like that. What I do is I stand behind the batter. I catch the balls and throw them to the pitcher and then say, hey, bases loaded. And that's what I do. So he sounds like he might be on his way to the demotion, but he'd be a riot to have on to talk about the game. Only if you guys want. So how about a man in the street episode in Cali? Oh, they kill me out there. I mean, not literally. Well, hey, I don't know. Maybe they would. But I don't hope not. And pardon me? Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And you can't carry your gun there. I don't believe I could bring my gun. So that's going to be tricky. So I probably won't be wearing any of my gear, this gear. But I sure as heck will be doing this one more time for the road. That's just too much fun. But anyway, so you guys hit me up with what you think you'd want to talk about, what you want me to talk about. And if you have questions, keep them coming because I love to answer them. And I think we're going to sign off and let you guys get back to your evening. But I want to say, please share the interview. And I want to have you follow me on my YouTube channel. You can see the video that I just recently did with Roger Stone. You can find me on my website. If you need anything, you can find me on, just Google me and I'll be there. And I'm here to help. I'm here to make your guys' life better. I'm here to do whatever I can to make sure that people are being good to one another. And I want to thank you for giving up some of your time on Thursday evening. I know that time is our most valuable asset and you shared yours with me and I appreciate that. So go make it a great rest of your evening. And until next week, bye for now.